Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I could be a little bit better, mainly because it's been kind of damp today and I'm sore where I fell last week. I think I just pulled a muscle again, or something, but I used my arms to try and catch. I was falling down the steps on my bottom, luckily, because otherwise I guess it could have been worse, but I used my arms to kind of alleviate some of the fall. I think that's a good thing because I have osteoarthritis and I don't want to break anything else. So yeah, I gotta be super careful. But yeah, I mean I'm okay. I just it hurts to get older no matter the pains you have, you know what I mean? So yeah, I could be better, but mostly what I could be better about this morning, I heard a story and I'm waiting to have it verified that this 13-year-old girl that needs a kidney transplant and her relatives are willing to give her a kidney, but the CDC won't let the girl have it because she's unvaccinated. So I'm waiting to see where this happened and who reported it and see if I can get more information on that. Because a lot of people might say, well, things are just going to get worse. Well, they're going to get a whole lot worse from the people that care about things like this, too. So, either way, people get what they give, and that goes for these monsters too. There's going to be a tipping point, and it won't be the one world government like they think. It's the one world people is where the strength is. That's it. That's why they've been packing up and saving up to crawl into their caves and underground cities because no, they can't go out into space and the stars are in the firmament, what does that indicate? That it's firm? Firm doesn't mean loose or perforated. Uh, anyway, I heard somebody call the Van Halen belt the Van Halen belt, or I saw a meme or something. That's funny. And I don't care what anybody believes about space, if there's stars or moon or sun or what you believe. I don't care. Who cares, right? If we all just talk about what we believe and whatever we want in our lives, there's no argument. But I will say that I had a slight argument with a young man about people that hide their genders. Because for me, if I was on the dating scene, it would be sexual assault and abuse towards me if some chick dressed like a dude and made moves on me. If you get that could be a dangerous thing in the world, and there should be laws against this. I didn't tell that young man that. I just told him, this is why I'm speaking like I'm speaking. My baby got raped by men. I didn't go into what I've been through, but and then just recently I consoled a adolescent girl that got beat on by man-size males. So, um, I have a reason to really be speaking out what I'm speaking out about. And I'm not going to be quiet. Whether they think it's going to get worse or not, well, so am I. And so are the rest of people like me. If you were a mother, maybe that doesn't make a difference. Maybe some fathers are just as passionate about it. But there's certain ways to deal with certain types of people. And when it's criminal and it's criminally insane, that's a crime. A crime is a crime. And we need to be calling out the insanity for what it is, not pacifying the ones that are just going along with the system. Wouldn't you agree? You know, I'm sure you do. So, anyway, so I told the kid basically, after I explained a few things about myself or whatever, my kid or whatever, and then I just told him, let's put it this way, because I've tried to be friendly, and this isn't my first um, altercation with this young man, I should say. Uh, I told him, look, just let's do it like this. I will either be your best friend or your worst nightmare. So you decide. It's in your hands, basically. So many words to that effect. You know, I said something like to add to your already miserable life or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so just to make him feel a little bit better about himself, give him something more to trying to paint me as a hater when that is the least thing within my heart. It's like I passed around a meme that Kurt Cobain said, um, if the world could see inside his heart, his soul, through his eyes, they would wonder how he smiled, you know. And I know the feeling. So, because he had God in his heart, obviously. Because if he was still smiling, yeah. So, but when children have been assaulted and they talk about suicide to you and expressing their sorrows about the things in the world and that type of thing, you don't really kind of overlook the things and say it's just going to get worse. You work with people, and even the ones that are doing it, give them the opportunity to stop doing that, because um, I'm not going to pretend that I don't uh, direct any bad vibrations towards people like that or their supporters, you know, because I do have a lot of animosity towards them. Anybody that hurts kids in perverted ways, and even men that hurt women in particular and compete with women in a physical manner, I'm your direct enemy. And if you hurt a child, I just pure want you dead, you know? So, anyway, I'm just telling you. And I'm not just talking, I've actually had to make moves in my life to make things happen and stop real monsters in the world as a martial artist and a mother and a grandma. No, I'm not just flapping my gums. I actually will tear a monster off of somebody being hurt or whatever it takes. Yeah, I'm capable. I had somebody pretending like karate moves in front of me on a video chat. It's like, back it down, Sparky. You do not want to do that in front of me at all. Because I don't make a whole bunch of moves or that I'm capable. It only takes one. Like Bruce Lee's saying, It's better to practice one kick 10,000 times than it is 10,000 kicks one time. What I like to do is find the ones that are good for me and do what is more like what they would even like a drunken judo, if you know what I'm talking about, more a fluid, a spiritual thing, you know, moves that nobody's ever seen. You don't have to necessarily conform to any kind of art that somebody else has practiced, for instance, you know, and that has given me an upper hand. My actual um, study of all types of combat gave me an edge, so to speak, but it also taught me where my strengths are, you know, and also to size somebody up. You're either sizing them up to help them or destroy them. So, true thing. It's like I was watching a Jason Schwartz had ran across Paul Wallace and his alien stuff. It isn't so much of what all of what Paul Wallace is saying isn't true. It's the half truths that totally destroy people, the part truths, and let's put it this way, it's instinctual and it is following our hearts. If we aren't following our hearts, we're following our mind, you know. And the heart is one place that Satan cannot infiltrate. It can be faked, but it can't be infiltrated, you know. So anyway, back to Paul Wallace. I tried to talk to that thing who I know for a fact is a Jesuit, if not a Jesuit for sure, some type of Mason, not necessarily a Freemason, or he's above. I would say he is even more like with Scottish rites or to the Jesuit. So or Rose, not Rosicrucian, because if he were, there would be teachings of Christ within um, deeper than what he displays. He just barely touches on it, and then it's back to more like aliens being God or whatever, you know. So, and no, and these people know the true identity of the Trinity and the true story, not story, the true actual history of Christ and the documentation of that bloodline, which is the Holy Grail that they, what is in the care of the Freemasons, not just the Masons, but the Freemasons, and some that were in the Jesuit order, and there are two types of them too. It's not just one cabal. It's a dark cabal against the light cabal, and there are infiltrators everywhere on both sides. So it's just the ones in the good cabal just tell you up front, we do have a good heart, but if I see you hurting other people, I'm going to kick your ass, you know. So, so people that write laws into whatever you call it, parliament, I think in Canada. Here it's our legislators. Uh, pass. a bill of rights to be able to take the life of somebody that feels suicidal, or they can end their life if you have a mentally handicapped child, or if you're pregnant with somebody that's handicapped or whatever, um, feels suicidal. Here, take this shot. All your worries are gone. Yeah, well, not every country's just gonna roll over and play this insane uh, game that these people are doing. You know, there's some of us out here that are like, go excuse yourself, lay down by your dish where you belong, not in front of the whole world. These people are representing us as every human being on this planet to each other, within and out all these countries, taking our money and representing us to the whole world. And then all I hear in my country is send more money. We need to send more money for bombs and whatever to the Ukraine. No, we don't need to. Putin's been in our White House. You think these people don't have steak dinners together and decide what country's going to split and who's going to support who and where the money goes and how it's going to be, I'll just say, laundered from out from there into the other branches of their corporations or countries or different organizations? Yeah, we all know it's happening, you know. So the time has come, what I'm saying, whether or not people believe that the word Christian is way overused and watered down, I am telling you with my Christian heart that I will be vicious if I have to. And I'm not playing. I'm not talking somebody that comes up behind your back and pulls sideways shit at you or something like that. I'm talking about somebody straight up confronting your ass, you know, like in person type of thing. And that's what needs to happen all over this world to all these people that hold positions of power and say they speak for all of us. No, you fucking don't. And it's time they find that out. I'm not calling for any kind of insurrection or violence or anything like that. I am calling for people to confront your local narcissists. We have all kinds of information out there today, what the dark triad traits are, and there's anagram for that of ocean. And I mean, there's a whole chart that describes this flipping insanity we're living through right now in the world. It's described so far, described within the psychological medical books in the world. And I'm sure they'll be under attack in the definitions of words that they will try and, gee, how do we try and water down the word psychopath? You know, how do you, how do you, glorify and colorize, uh, somebody that is a mass murderer, you know? So these are the issues that we're dealing with. And no, we aren't just going to sit on the sidelines and watch it get worse. And no, it's always been bad. It's just looking like it's worse because it's more televised right now. But it's always been the same amount of retarded shit from these people that come from the Phoenician bloodline. And that's the bottom line, you know. Oh, I'm going to share. Robert Seffer had I think it was like a 15-minute video on some of the it was more than just explaining about the magic in Hollywood, and he had an old clip from, if you're familiar with Jordan Maxwell and some of it, but there's a little bit, it's a little bit a different twist on some of his information. There was a couple things in there that I think people could probably glean something out of, so I'm going to share that if you're interested or not. But I'm going to cut this a little short tonight and just kick back if you my brain hurts from being nice, really, because I want to swear and scream, and I don't want to be violent or vicious to a human being, but I'm just hoping that, whatever they deserve in that type of physical thing that they've put on, and emotional stress that they've put on other people, that they get it worse than what they tried to give. And that's equalizing things out. Now, this, I believe, will be what the demonic spirit is actually going to end up doing towards the wicked. But I don't think they see it like that. I think they are going to get away with everything, and they forget that God created Satan and ultimately has the bottom line of that say so, and how things are going to go in the world is totally still in God's hands, no matter what it looks like. So just don't forget that. You'll see, mark my words, you will see a change more than you will see. You'll see the same old games and the agendas. They'll just keep writing more bullshit for their last bullshit that they just got through with, but it's always been the same old thing. You really have to be a history buff, and that's really important, whether or not we believe that it's all real or whatever, to decipher with our hearts from the depth of our hearts. And when the Holy Spirit's talking on our hearts, to gather that and not go here with the mental bullshit, nagging little Satan bitch in your ear, like, oh, hate him or hate her, don't hear the truth, say this, blah blah blah. You know, yeah, I know. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at.